So a quick factoid for step 1, step 2 and the boards. How to differ antiphospholipid antibody syndrome from other coagulopathies. Okay, so what we do for this is a mixing study. So the theory behind this is that, for example, if this is the plasma of a patient, and we think that he has some sort of coagulopathy, he has a bleeding tendency. So what we will do is give him the plasma of a patient which is normal, of somebody like from the plasma from somebody that has all of the coagulopathies, and we will give this plasma to the patient that we suspect has a coagulopathy. And the theory behind this is that, for example, this is factor 12, 9, 10, 11, 2. So if he was deficient in factor 2, by supplementing him with the plasma of a normal person, we will fulfill the deficiency, the factor 2 deficiency. And then if he had a elevated PT or PTT, it would be corrected, right? But what happens in a patient, the plasma of a patient with the antiphospholipid syndrome, is that what happened was that we suspected that the patient has a bleeding tendency, because when we mixed the plasma of a normal patient with the plasma of a patient with antiphospholipid antibody syndrome, what we saw was that they had an elevated PTT, and this is very confusing, because in theory, if it was a normal anticoagulopathy, it should have been corrected. But antiphospholipid antibody syndrome is not a coagulation defect. Why? Because the main problem in the plasma of the patient with the antiphospholipid antibody syndrome is that they have something called the antiphospholipid antibody, or a coagulation inhibitor, or a Lupus anticoagulant. And what this antibody does is that it combines with the phospholipids and stops them from binding to the endothelial surfaces and forming a clot. So even if we supplement them with all types of coagulopathies, we see that the coagulopathy does not correct, and what we do get is that elevated PT and PTT, only an elevated PTT. Okay, so the results of a mixing study, when we do it with the patient of an antiphospholipid antibody syndrome, is that it will not correct. Whereas if we do it with any other coagulopathy, if we do it with hemophilia A, with an factor A deficiency, von Willebrand disease with the von Willebrand deficiency, it will correct with a mixing study. So that those are the differences between the two, right? So one way to decrease this PTT, one way to correct this antiphospholipid antibody syndrome, is that if we supplement them with the phospholipids instead of the coagulation factors, because what they will do is that the phospholipids will combine with the Lupus antibody, antiphospholipid antibody, lipid anticoagulant, and there will become a point when they will reach a threshold when the phospholipids will overwhelm the antiphospholipid antibody, and the coagulopathy will correct. Okay, so that is that. And the one other factoid about antiphospholipid antibody syndrome is that even though it has an elevated PTT, it is not a bleeding disorder, right? It is not a bleeding disorder. It is instead a thromboembolic disease, and that is because this Lupus anticoagulant actually activates the platelets when it is inside of the blood vessels, but paradoxically, when it is outside, when we are testing it in the test tube, it actually causes an increased PTT, which makes us think that it's a bleeding disorder. Why it is not? It is actually a thromboembolic disorder resulting in fetal loss and clot formation. So I hope you guys understood it, and if you guys didn't, you guys can comment below, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.